homelessness, van life, etc. So when I turned 18, I exited out of the state institutions. My mother grew weed and she was a practicing nudist. So she would hang out in her backyard on the edge of town, and be naked in her garden. She would do naked gardening. And she really pushed for freedom to be able to be naked. They locked her up in prison. Then I was adopted into a different family. They changed my name. When she got out of prison for the nonviolent victimless crimes that she committed, um, they gave her shock therapy and a bunch of pharmaceutical drugs, right? Anyway, I was in a foster home that was pretty fucked up. I ran away from the foster home. I was institutionalized in 4 different placements where I was forced onto different drugs. Actually, in the foster home, I started having issues after they started putting me on the pills. They put me on amphetamines. Amphetamines have a lot of negative side effects. They make you really irritable. It also destroys like your development as a child. But after they put me on those, I started having these outbursts because it was like fucking me up, right? They were putting me on all these drugs that, it's deep, but once you get into it, it's pretty fucking deep. Jordan Peterson talks about how fucked up it is putting kids on amphetamines, but I have tics now, so I'm like fucking Mr. Bean because they had me on so much fucking amphetamines, pill form as a kid. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't pop pills, I don't do drugs, and I have these tics now. Yeah, I was on over 20 different pharmaceuticals. I experienced rape in there and like physical violence against me. It was pretty fucked up. Anyway, I get released, and my first job, I'm doing landscaping. Deer jumps out in front of me when I'm weed whacking around gravestones and shit, and I got to drive down to the other spot. Deer jumps in front of me. I swerve to try to miss the fucking deer, miss the deer, but then I get onto the grass and the grass is wet. End up going down the fucking hill. They fired me. I know nothing about workers' rights. Uh, yeah, um, nothing about workers' rights. So I get fucked there. I get lucky though. I get a job selling vacuum cleaners. Second job position. I do that. It was all commission based. I was hella fucking. My first week I actually only made $250, but I followed everything by the book, and honestly I only sold one vacuum by myself. I just watched and trained other people. They were so shocked at how fast I learned. They just fucking just picked me up every day from work, and they fucking fed me lunch, breakfast, and dinner. I ended up making $1,000 my second week in commissions. My third week, I made $2,000 in commissions because I was just so fucking good at selling the fucking Kirby vacuum. It was knocking on the door, going in the house, dropping the full factory demo. Anyway, I lose my license because I had an issue with speeding. I stayed out of jail by paying a lawyer $2,500. But anyway, I lose my license. I open up my own business. Um, my bot. So the whole point of the Kirby opportunity is we're getting into the homeless thing. We're getting into it. But the whole point of the Kirby opportunity is you got to look into. I highly recommend anybody that runs a business. You go and you work at a Kirby office for a month. Work at the highest performing Kirby office. Take what you learn back to your business, and you're gonna do 10x. You're gonna do 10x. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Anyway, I get into it with my boss because he really doesn't want us to be factory distributors, because when we're factory distributors, it doesn't make sense to him. It doesn't make him dollars and cents. But they put that whole thing up there. The Kirby company wants to promote as many factory distributors as possible, but it's really not that much in the interest of the factory distributor to promote factory distributors. So I was naive. We were working, but we had a great time. It was a lot of fun. And that's why we didn't have an issue, driving 1.5 to 2 hours out of each day to a location, to and back, and then working 12 hours in the field plus the drive time. It's anywhere from 10 to 12 hours in the field plus the drive time. So it was like 12 to 16-hour days sometimes. 6 days a week minimum. A lot of times we would work Sundays so we could win our free vacations. We could win a free vacation every 3 months. And it wasn't like I didn't deserve to make the $2,000, $3,000 a week that I was working, because I was working fucking 12 to 14-hour days, fucking 6 days a week, 6 to 7 days a week. I fucking deserved that shit. It was all commission. Anyway, it was positive peer culture. We had a great time. It was really fucking awesome. I had an apartment. I had a hot tub in the apartment. I just had a really fun time with the job and with the customers. And it was a really good product, American made, door to door, made out of stainless steel. It had a bulletproof fan blade. You suck a penny up into that Kirby, it bends it in half. And had no time for any negativity, no news, no nothing. We didn't have time to watch the news. There was so much negative shit out there, like the swine flu, all that fear-mongering bullshit back in the day. But we never had time for it because we were just grinding. Anyway, open up my own business, lose my license, ended up having to hire somebody. He ends up I end up having him live in my apartment and then paying him like $400 a month. I ended up finding out he used to be a driver for the other fucking guy. He was putting whiskey in his fucking coffee. I woke up to him smoking a blunt, and I'm like, dude, I can't smell that. And he's like, oh, just relax. And I was up there. It was cold. I didn't have many of my friends because we were the dream team back at the main office. We had a lot of fun, but it was just me and Larry, so I just started smoking weed. Totally fucked up my life. Weed destroys your brain. It destroys your motivation. It makes you slow. It makes you retarded. It fucks with your dreams. Not only your dreams in real life, but you don't even remember your fucking dreams at night. It fucks you up. So, there was that. I smoked. That ended up ruining me. I ended up smoking heavily for 6 months, and then I was just on my phone watching stuff because I was smoking weed. I was riding my bicycle to the taco truck because I lost my license again because I was speeding. Actually, this time I had a taillight out, and I didn't have insurance. I don't fucking remember what the last one was, but god damn, there's so much. There's mold in my car right now. It's making me fucking itch. I opened up my refrigerator, there's black mold in there, and I pulled out some string cheeses, and it's been fucking with my nose. I gotta take that fridge out and fucking clean it out. I've got no electricity today at all. It's been so fucking rainy. Ugh. Anyway, when it comes back to van life and shit, anyway, I traveled around. I started in a car. I used to be really fucking athletic. I used to be really strong. I used to have good posture. The weed fucked me up. And then living in vehicles and just going through traumatic events back to back. I had a lot of fucking traumatic events when I was a fucking kid. Abso-fucking-lutely went into this. So now I gotta realize, look, I've been through a lot of traumatic events since Kirby Vacuums. Traveling around didn't go as smoothly as I had wanted to. But the whole point I wanted to work so hard was so I could retire and just go fucking build a cabin and fucking relax. That was my fucking goal. I didn't really want a fucking yacht. And my boss had 3 yachts, 10 houses. I'm a pretty simple fucking guy, you know. I wanted to travel and do some hiking and just fucking have time to have fun. You know. But anyway, just getting harassed living in your car by police, security officers, like you find out, like I go on van life and then it would be like, oh, there'd be these activists, and then oh, now I'm sucked into this. And it just, being on my phone, it ruined my life. It ruined my life. A lot of shit on the internet, it's people being mad about how fucked up shit is. When before I was working so much and grinding so much and partying so much on every 3 months on every vacation, that I really had no time to care about all the negative shit that was happening. And now my body's fucked up from being injured on a job 2 years ago. I tried a couple of times to work out again, but I was just in too much pain. I realized I'm not going to be able to do this. If I would have been given a decent payout, or if they would have just had the fucking same healers, if they weren't just trying to push you fucking pills and cortisone shots, painkillers, I would have been healed. Like UFC fighters, they get their fucking legs snapped in half, they're back in the octagon in fucking 6 months, right? Why? Because the regular system, they haven't transferred over to that type of actually healing your body. It doesn't benefit them when your body's healed. It doesn't benefit anybody in America though when you fucking get injured and then you can't fucking do anything, and then you gotta get told, oh, well, you could go collect disability. And then I'm like, fuck no, I don't want to go collect disability. Fuck you. That's no money. Shove it up your fucking ass. Shove the disability up your fucking ass. I could be on disability right now. I'm too fucking young. If I had the proper environment in my van with fucking heat and cooling, I probably would have been fucking healed. If I would have had this vehicle from the beginning of my injury, I was living in a small van, plus I was having leaking from it. It was also just a bunch of series of unfortunate events of being naive and trusting people that I bought vehicles from without doing inspections. Just when I was younger, even though all that bullshit happened to me, I was always like very, very like loving and like optimistic, and I wouldn't think that people would be like that. But that's because I was a retard. All that shit happened to me when I was a kid. The world's fucked up. It is. Not for everybody, but it's fucked up. You could focus on the fucked up, or you could focus on doing what you love and making a lot of money or having time to do the things you want and not being on your phone, and you're probably going to be fucking great. And that's what I've come to realize, you know. But I have a lot to be angry about right now, you know. And I can't stop my pornography addiction that I used to be able to fuck my girlfriend for like 3 to 4 hours a night after I get home from work. I'd come to the morning meeting with 3 to 4 hours of work, and I didn't even need coffee. I just had that much fucking energy up until I was 25. Until the relationship started to go south with my boss, then all of a sudden I needed to start drinking coffee because it was a mental thing, which is a spiritual thing. Mental and spiritual is just emotion, energy and motion. It took away my belief in who he was and what I was actually going to obtain once I started to see through my own naivety that he was able to hold. And I really do respect the guy. He put the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill in my hands. He gave me a copy of The Secret, uh, which is the law of attraction, which, I forgot. Also hit my head. Yeah, I can't tell if it's just. And also living in the van, I just don't have a lot of oxygen. Like I need venting and ventilation. It gets so hot, and then it's so cold. I keep the windows up. Like you need oxygen and proper ventilation. And during the summer, I couldn't just have my windows rolled down because someone's living in their van. Oh, or I'd be in ghetto ass neighborhoods. Didn't want someone to fucking reach in and fucking take something out of the front seat. So if I would have had like a proper build with heating, um, ventilation, um, if you're gonna do van life, you got to be set up. You got to be able to have. You got to be able to stand. You got to have a fridge. I only recently got a fridge like a year ago. You really have to. It has to feel like home if you're gonna work and stay happy. 100%. 100%. If you're gonna do the van life, um, you gotta be able to enjoy your time. You, you need time to yourself because you're gonna be always in public. You need to have it where you can like do yoga, tai chi. Fuck, I recommend having like a non-electric treadmill. I have a non-electric treadmill back here, but I don't have the fucking room to bring it down. Because when I broke my back, I also bought a massage bed, an electric heated massage bed for $300 from Sarah Gym, which I ended up breaking apart and just using the mat part, which it doesn't even work that well. I don't even use it because the Planet Fitness beds work better. But yeah, so your diet, I had a horrible fucking diet. That's the other thing. I used to have a great diet. I would pack my own lunches. I'd cook every day before I went out into the field. So the last 2 years when I was drinking the coffee, I wasn't getting that good of sleep, so I started eating gas station food every day. So like diet is 100% essential. If you're gonna be able to produce and work, it has to be a fun environment. If you're gonna be able to work 12 to 16-hour days, it has to be a fun environment. You have to have proper nutrition. You got to be able to sleep good. I don't sleep good in the summer or the winter. And so everything about the lifestyle that I'm living is just absolutely jacked. I've always worked. I've never begged for money. I've used food stamps when I've had to because work's been so unstable for me since the van life. It's just you get fucking hot and then you're not sleeping. You get woken up, for whatever reason. You're driving around looking for a parking spot, like, and then you get injured. It really did a number to me. If I would have had like an apartment when I was injured, I probably would have been able to get back to work. But being in the hot and the cold and not having the proper nutrition, that fucked it up. So yeah. So I don't understand. I'm really pissed off. Free Luigi Mangione for real. Like they wanted to give me 15,600 bucks. I told them to fucking shove a fucking stick up their ass and make themselves a fucking corn dog, you know. And then I pissed that fucking lawyer off, so I ended up driving out to try to go do this survival thing. I failed the survival thing, but they weren't even going to give me money until after this survival thing. So I thought I was fucked. And I had this money that I got that I had saved up. And from this other lawsuit from when they made me grow titties when I was on Respiridol. I literally have more estrogen in my body when I was a kid when they had me on Respiridol because they're trying to turn everybody into females to reduce the population and shit. But it's crazy, y'all. It's fucking crazy. And then when you become an activist, you're like, cause I had all this shit that happened to me. It's like you got to stand up for your fucking self, right? You can't be a little bitch, But these companies, they don't like people when they aggress towards them. They don't like them standing up for themselves. They don't like them spreading truth because it costs them a lot of money for the fucked up shits that they've done. So they'll be doing some fuck shit to try to get inside your head and all this shit. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Plus now they've made it illegal to fucking be a fucking activist. Like this country's fucked. So yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand how they could human traffic women for wanting to free some fucking nipples in their own fucking backyard, growing plants, not bothering anybody when there's nudist beaches all over the earth. Shout out to Croatia. Croatia has the most nudist beaches on earth. It's really fucking good for you to go outside when it's sunny and get full spectrum sunshine. I didn't agree to her fucking growing the weed. I didn't start smoking weed till I was 26, and it fucked me up the 6 months that I did it. I think weed's horrible for you. It's like opium. It did the same thing that China, like the opium did. It fucked everybody up. It took away everybody's motivation. Made people not motivated. Also made them think really deeply and realize that they're fucking slaves. I will say this about weed is it helps. I mean, it's true. There's like 500 people on earth that do whatever the fuck they want, and then everybody else is their servants. I saw a meme on it today. I know it's a negative way of looking at things, and I'm trying to restructure my mind to be more positive because my chances of being one of those 500 people are very slim, you know. So instead of bitching about it, and then what I got to do is fucking, get over it. So, here we are. And I got to try to find a way to fix my mind, body. I got to find a positive environment. And being on the phone, it's not a positive environment. I have to find a new hobby. So what did I do? 3 weeks ago, I fucking spent 10 hours to try to research fucking scooters. I was like, okay, I know what I'll do. I'll do DoorDash. I'll DoorDash on a fucking scooter. Because I can't DoorDash with this fucking shit. Because it gets 6 miles a gallon. And the front end needs work. I could still drive it, but to drive it and when it needs work, it's stupid to drive it a bunch. Why would I fucking do that? I could probably get away with driving this for another fucking 50,000 miles the way I fucking drive it. I drive it so fucking slow because I baby the shit out of it. But so I contact the company and I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fucking do scooter reviews and make a commission off of scooters, and then that'll distract me from being on my phone and bitching all the time. I'll just be out zooming around on my scooter, getting a natural high, doing DoorDash, and I'll get back to grinding. I can stand on a fucking scooter. It's good for my posture. Let me do this. Eventually, I'll be able to make something out of the YouTube and sell some fucking scooters. The scooter comes, it doesn't fucking work. So I contact the company. They're like, okay, let me send you out the other parts. They sent the scooter to the right place, and they sent the other parts to the right place. But the delivery guys fucked up, and for some reason they sent the parts to the wrong fucking place. Like, I don't know how they fucking did it. Like, they delivered the scooter to the right place. And I get it, you know, they don't get paid enough to not make mistakes all the time. I feel the same way. Like jobs suck, and a lot of people do piss poor jobs now. And did they break the fucking scooter? Did they handle it that fucked up that the scooter didn't fucking work? But then they delivered 3 packages to the wrong fucking place. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, no one, even myself. But I used to have the most honor and respect for my work. I was all commission based. If they were laughing, they were buying. They'd cook me steak dinner at the end of every fucking uh, demonstration. And I'd sell them a Kirby sometimes for the upstairs and the downstairs. And I'd have them run up the credit card for $5,000. You know, my best weekend, I sold 8 Kirby's in a weekend. It was fucking amazing. It was fucking amazing. Sold so many vacuum cleaners. 20 starting price at $2,200 before the $300 shampooer. It's like, because we had a positive peer culture, we were having fun. You had other people that were just goofing off, but we were serious. You know, it was great. It was grand. It was awesome. And I got to realize that I got to take power over my own mind, you know. The world, it's just like fucking Rocky Balboa said. The world's a mean and nasty place. It'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You could bitch and complain and moan, but the world's not going to get any fucking easier. And it looks like might even get worse and worse with AI, depending on how it ends up working out. You know, they're not really helping people out that are not having jobs right now, so it's getting pretty fucked. So it's making me realize that Darwinism is the real shit. When you study nature, the strong survive. But humans are destroying the earth, absolute facts. Other humans are fucking over other humans, absolute facts. A lot of people are gonna have to be living van life soon, or RV life. If you don't think that that's a fucking possibility for you, you need to pull your head out your fucking ass and fucking look at reality. You know, I think every parent should have a van that's fully sustainable with heat, fridge, cooling, ventilation, standable for their kids. So their kids, because their kids are going to have to live at home with them, and if they can park the van outside, or the kids can take it to their friend's house and park it outside their friend's house. Because look, they ain't going to be able to afford the fucking apartments while they're going to fucking college to get a job that they can actually afford to live in the real world for whatever it fucking is while you're going to college. And you really need to focus 100% on what you're doing when you're in college, not fucking working a full-time job. Yeah, you can work a fucking part-time job and pay for your food and be self-sufficient without having to rely on the government and all that. But this is like van life it's very strategic. It's very fucking strategic, and it's gonna be necessary. Absolutely necessary. So 100% recommend that people do that, because you need to take care of yourself. You need to have proper sleep. You need to have proper food. There has to be a stove. I don't even cook my own shit because I don't have that set up yet. But I had like the yogurt. I was eating the yogurt. You know, I was eating the cottage cheese. I had the bologna sandwiches and stuff like. And I was saving some money. I was saving some fucking money. When it was the summertime, when I actually was getting power to my fucking fridge before it stopped working. There's the fucking sun. And yeah, so make sure you got enough solar panels to keep the fridge running nonstop. Um, the sleep, d- d- uh, highly recommend, from living the life. Don't fucking start drinking coffee. Don't start drinking energy drinks. Do not, if you get hooked on working out, do not start drinking those fucking pre-workouts, because then you're gonna be like, oh, this doesn't work anymore, and then you're gonna start taking fucking the strongest fucking pre-workouts, and then you're not gonna be sleeping, and you're gonna be like, oh, I need the sleeping powder that fucking knocks me the fuck out. Then you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be a zombie, and then you're gonna smash the fucking pre-workout again. That it's gonna destroy your fucking body and mind. No, you need proper nutrition, proper sleep. I can't believe I was swinging the fucking swords when I was living in my van in the hot and the cold. Like, I was living in the hot and the cold with no proper diet. You know, I couldn't imagine of how buff I would have fucking got if I would have like been living in an apartment and been cooking all my meals. I don't know if that's ever going to be a possibility again, guys. That's why I changed the channel from the giant sword workout to the soulfully fractured man, because I'm fucking fractured. Yeah, I really try to stop beating my meat too, and no fap is a real one. Like, having a good woman in your life who's who was not gimme, gimme, gimme. Now, like, all my girlfriends that I had were pretty lit, except for the first one. Like, they were business minded, they were go getters, and and make sure you really fucking dick them down good. Make sure they can suck your dick really good. I highly recommend this. Don't settle for a woman who can't fucking fuck good and ride stick and suck good dick. Don't do it. You need to be fully fucking sexually satisfied. She needs to be able to drain your fucking balls every fucking night so you can fall the fuck to sleep. You know? And if your nutrition and diet's right, you're going to wake up and you're going to be able to roll and do 16-hour days if your job doesn't fucking suck and it's actually not draining your soul. So I highly recommend doing something that's creative, or search really hard for a positive peer environment where it's not fucking weird, like where people are actually fucking cool, where you're having fun, where management isn't fucking dictator making you not want to fucking work there. Like I never understood that. Like, people that love working places go above and beyond just because they fucking have fucking pride at where they work. It's really fucking obvious. So these are just some of the simple things that I've learned. Um, if you do end up in your car or a van where you can't stand up in, or an SUV, you gotta learn Tai Chi, Qigong. You gotta get a solar panel up on there and get a fridge, because in the summer times you're gonna need a way to cool your water and beverages. Um, these are just things you have to do. Like, really, really. Um, get yourself involved. Uh, if you're traveling, say that you get a job and your job requires you to travel, you're gonna feel fucking lonely, right? Or say your job sucks the life out of your soul, and you don't really vibe with anybody at work. That you know, until you find a place that like really saturates your soul and really just has you fucking like sitting down with the fucking boss and like masterminding on how everybody can succeed. Um, what I would do is I would like try to find events, sports activities where you can do stuff that you love, because you're really gonna need that. Like, you really need that, like, big time. and try to limit your time off on your phone. Um, Nowadays, the algorithms, it's almost like they're trying to like fuck with your head and become destructive. So you might have to like create whole new accounts. You might have to get a whole new phone, uh, change your IP address. I don't understand how to do all that. Um, but sometimes if you get baked into a fucked up algorithm and you click on something that the mainstream's trying to push on you that's negative and you click on it, it's gonna fuck up your whole fucking life. Especially with all the shit going on right now. Like and maybe that's what you're called to. Maybe you need to be an activist. But for me, I can barely fill my own cup up right now. I broke my back. I've said my fucking 2 cents on the bullshit that's happened to me. And I've got sucked into jobs and things, that I didn't completely understand because they made me emotional. But just understand that everything that you do, everything that you focus on, it attracts more of that into your life. So try to focus on the things that truly will bring you joy. I think instead of bitching about the system, I can't remember this. I'm probably going to forget all this and go back to bitching because, my algorithm and I'm so addicted to my phone and jerking off. I just can't stop doing it because I have nothing else going in my life right now. And that's why I was really trying to get the fucking hyper scooters, fucking make money on a new fucking hobby. That was the deal. I used to be a fucking stripper, by the way. Damn, it's possible I could look good again, but shit, I'm looking washed out right now. I'm feeling washed out. That was a decent job. I could have taken any woman I wanted home that night or guy. You know, I tend to lean more straight. But I will say because of the new LGBTQ, it's spreading all around. And me being broke and poor and stressing out about never having kids, I've watched some gayer porn and I even watched some tranny porn. And now, you know, it's hard to know if Alex Jones is right if they're actually fucking turning the frogs gay. You know, we got the fucking high estrogen now. You know, that's why shout out to certified health nut Troy Casey. Fit at 50. He drives a fucking Ferrari and a fucking Rolls Royce. Fucking legend. Uh, Went to ancient India, learned how to do pranayama. He was living with black mold in his vehicle. I was living with black mold in my vehicle. I got black mold again in here today because I was starving. I'm low on funds. And I had a couple of cheese sticks left in my van that started growing mold in it because the fuck no more sun right now. It's been so rainy. But so I'm fucking itching my nose and tweaking right now because this shit fucks you up. I survived with black mold in my fucking last van though for a year straight. I don't know how I did it, but I did. And but yeah. So people need to be more compassionate for people that live in their vehicles. They need to hook them up with like fucking pizzas, stuff like that. Because like if you know someone that's living the van life, like that shit is hard. It's a small area. And like humans were not even born to like being like houses. Like 99.99999% of our ancestors were fucking roaming Earth before these kings figured out how to like get people to plant food and shit and make shit and realize they wanted shiny shit and to build shit. Before human beings could figure out how to make stuff, there was no concept of kingship. It was just who was the strongest motherfucker in the tribe. They got a bone the most chicks, normally, because the chicks were naturally attracted, to the strongest dudes in the tribe because they wanted their offspring to have a better chance at fucking fighting the saber-toothed tiger. So oftentimes, like if you were my size, like 5'9", You might get a bone, a couple times with some of the ladies in the tribe, but those ladies were, any chance they could, they were trying to bone the strongest dude in the tribe, that had the fucking 12-inch dick, who was fucking 7 foot tall, because they, and at the end of the day, the rest of the tribesmen weren't really tripping about it because they're like, you know what? Eventually, we're gonna get old, and we want stronger alpha male babies to protect us from the fucking grizzly bears too. So, and the more athletic dude can throw the dick more often. Like, nobody was going without pussy back in the day. Like, when they were in a tribe and they were able to have sex with different women and everybody took care of each other's kids. Like shit wasn't that bad even if you were the smallest guy. There was always a woman there that wasn't getting enough sex because women had more sex drive than men back in the day. Better believe it. 100%. Like, yeah. So, all the girlfriends that I was with, they needed sex like 5, 6 times a day. That's what we were designed for, to hunt and roam Earth. And then we fucking, had to do stuff and build stuff. And then our bodies, like, we used to be Sasquatches and shit. Like, then we started losing our hair. And then, for like a couple thousand years, we just were like really tough without hair. We were like naked. And then we figured out how to, after 2,000 years of fucking being butt naked, you know, uh, we were like, okay, well, we can fucking make clothes from these fucking animals we're killing. And then we slowly started getting brains and shit. And then we would like, uh, yeah, you think I'm fucking with you? I'm not fucking with you. I need to get a drink of water, y'all. Alright, just a second. Ugh. 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 So 99.999% of our ancestors were buck naked. Like, like dicks and titties out, whether they had hair or not, The only reason, like, we should really be wearing clothes if freedom actually exists, which it doesn't, because everybody's afraid of their naked bodies and other people's naked bodies and can't readapt like all the other nudists do. Like, the other nudists are just chilling out there, fucking sunbathing, and they're not getting wrinkly either. They're like mega hydrated. They got their diet down. They're eating fruits and vegetables with a balanced diet. Um, they're barefoot on the ground, so they're not always wearing rubber shoes. That's the thing, that the sun is electric, the earth is magnetic. If you're not creating that conduit or connection, I'm not an electrician, but it's the same with electricity. It's all the same. Your cells aren't going to absorb the liquid, you know? Like, y'all, shout out to the barefoot shoe companies. There's over 500 barefoot shoe companies on Earth. You got to put the copper plugs in there. You got to touch grass. You got to go out there and frolic. Frolicking is what's up. I highly recommend people frolic butt naked when they're ultra mega hydrated on the H3O. H3O, it's structured water. It comes from organic fruit. It's actually not tricked to grow fast as fuck. It just grows how it's supposed to grow because it's structured the way that our bodies learn to fucking take that fruit on for fucking millennia or whenever we started farming. So, like, trying to figure out the what foods grew naturally for hundreds of thousands of years, that's actually how you're going to become strong and reactivate your chromosomes and your DNA helixes to be able to get fucking 100% times more testosterone than you have now. You got to eat like your fucking ancestors did, and you got to get sunshine on your body while being grounded, or you're going to fry your body because you're not able to hydrate. Also, washing your body. with all these soaps and stuff, it washes off the natural oils that's on your skin. Also, chopping off your fucking dick skin, this is fucking retarded. This is not the way. This is not the fucking way. 99.99999% of your ancestors all had their penis skins. This only started happening after civilization started controlling people and creating slaves and shit. So do not chop off your fucking foreskin. Don't fucking do that. It's fucking repulsive. Plus, if you chop off your foreskin, you're gonna lose half of your fucking orgasm. And you're never gonna create oxytocin. And but the one thing I will say is if you have your dick skin chopped off, you're never gonna be fully satisfied by one woman, and you're going to be much more likely because you're not going to be able to create the oxytocin with her or anybody, even friendships and stuff. So if you probably have a higher chance of beating off the porn if you had your dick skin cut off. Because if you can't create real connections through oxytocin, and as you get older, that shit starts to dry up too, become leathery. So you're going to create even less oxytocin. So you're more likely to start straying from the tribe as you get older if you're circumcised. It's just physics. It's the physics of the emotional alchemy of how it all works in your body. So really think that through, y'all. If you're circumcised right now, you probably need to fucking start looking into polyamory because you're going to start thinking you're going to need to stimulate this up here more than this down here to find any type of connection, because you're not going to have like that oxytocin connection. You're going to be constantly craving more of a mental connection. And the more women that you're in a relationship with and throwing the pipe to, you're going to find out that each woman has a different way of pleasing you in a different way sexually. And then you can teach all the other women. If you're monogamous that whole time, and we already went over this, most of our ancestors were just boning each other in the tribe. You know, it was no thing. It's just when people stopped being a tribe that the government had to get involved because there was orphans and stuff. And then you had to pay for the orphans, and nobody wanted to pay child support and all this stuff because no one was responsible because people were fucked up. Honestly, it's fucked up. Like that's the thing. Like if you're in a tribe and your partner pisses you off, you got 5 other partners. So you're constantly going to be making all the other partners jealous. They're not going to break up and not be there to provide for the kids. They're just going to be like, you know what, Sandy, we didn't fucking get along today. You need to go fuck Josh. And I'm going to go fuck Rebecca. And so on and so forth. Like it was different back then, y'all. But yeah, if y'all play by whatever you play by, it's completely in your own opinion, you know. But if you have if you have a circumcised dick and you're having a hard time connecting with your woman as you age, it's because your fucking dick meat's dried out and you only have half the orgasm to begin with. If you had full orgasm, you know, sex would still be decent, you know, but it was just the beginning. It wore off. It was never possible to be that great anyway because you only had half of a fucking foreskin. Plus, all these other neurological issues start to go down. In issues with your nervous system and your body and your mind if you've had your dick skin chopped off. They've actually found out that it's like a fucking chemical lobotomy. It's pretty fucked up. It actually raises your cortisol for life, so it's harder to be grounded and present when you're circumcised, because especially when you're fucking thinking about it. So that's a big reason why so many men in America smoke weed and drink alcohol and smoke tobacco, because they can't face reality that they were strapped down to a fucking medieval fucking torture device for babies and had their fucking dick skin chopped off by a fucking hypnotic, sadistic uh, salesman. So yeah, guys, the truth is the truth. They're gonna, you know, always speak your fucking truth, or be a eunuch. If you don't speak your truth, you're just an energetic spiritual eunuch, and there's no pleasure and joy in knowing that you're a energetic eunuch, that you don't have any balls. Um, so, um, yeah, van life, 100%, guys. You got to start fucking thinking things through. Life is hard. It's rough. It's savage as fuck. Uh, One thing I'm going to tell you is they will use religion to try to get you to turn the other cheek, because life, like I said, I just saw the meme of it like 1,000 times on fucking Facebook, over like the last 10 years. There's 500 people that like are the true rulers, and then everybody else are the servants to some degree. So you may get into that position, but you might not, and then you're not going to be in a state of joy. You got to find a state of joy serving other people. Being a servant is not always bad, but turning the other cheek when people are already fucking reaming your ass with a rocket-sized dildo with no lube, there's no dignity in this. So please, pull your heads out of your asses if this is happening to you, and become warriors. At least uh, fucking get yourself out of those situations, because it's hard and it's rough. Now, when I was a kid, I used to get beat, raped, drugged. They used to cuss at me. They used to yell at me. Sometimes when I'm on here, I'd be freaking the fuck out, because I spent years of just getting mental, physical, and sexual abuse. And right now, I'm kind of fucked up in the head, so I'm just resorting back to the youth programming that I had when I was a youth. Marcus Aurelius said, give me the first 7 years of the boy and I'll show you the man. But, we can't, focus on the past too much. We got to focus on the present to rewire and neuro-linguistic program the mind, body, and spirit. You're going to get very, very, very angry once you start to face things and stay sober. Me, I've been fucking sober minus the fucking coffee and energy drinks, which I stopped actually doing for 6 months. But I've been sober from like weed and alcohol for over 10 years now, and I highly recommend sobriety. Your sex is going to be better when you're sober, 100%. You're gonna be more irritated at the shit that you can't control. So you're really gonna have to learn to be the mental alchemist in your life and find a way to make your life fucking rock and be fucking totally awesome, so you can find a way to create natural joy, peace, bliss, and eternal ecstasy and unconditional love without using substances. Because um, being a true spiritual badass is fucking just, and you might go through dark nights of the soul and it might last you years. Or maybe, drinking a beer might help you out. I'm not here to judge. You're going to do whatever you're going to do because you are your own sovereign person. And I'm not saying that my way is the best. Maybe if I would drink a fucking beer at night, maybe I wouldn't be so pissed off, you know. But it is what it is. So, um, now being a disabled man, because let's be honest, I am disabled now, mentally and physically. Um, it's a choice to stay there. It's easier to to get and stay disabled in the modern world, because of the phone. Get yourself some hobbies. Get your semi-active hobbies where you can be semi-active. You know, um, try to limit your online time to just an hour a day. Um, it's gotten so bad where I'm on my phone some days where I'm in so much pain I can't get to work or whatever. Like I'm on my phone for like 10 hours a day. You know, it's pretty fucking bad, y'all. So remember who you are. You're billions of years old. Um, make it out of the trap. Uh, if you're working for someone else, you're gonna build their dream, or you can find a way to work for yourself. There's nothing wrong with working for somebody else. If you're helping to build a dream and it's actually your dream, like it's something that you like actually love to do and you just didn't gaslight yourself into thinking that you enjoy it, it's going to be good for your mental and physical, it's spiritual, financial health, and heck yeah, do a job, because the true currency on earth is energy. So I'm gonna end with that, and I'm gonna hop off of here. We've been on here for 56 minutes and 45 seconds. Um, yeah, may your days be filled with natural joy, peace, bliss, and eternal ecstasy, unconditional love, and absolute vitality. I highly recommend this. I highly recommend this. Um, um, Instead of bitching and complaining about what's fucked up in the world, try to become a conscious creator and try to consciously make life better for everybody. If you can find a way to make life better for everybody, you're not going to have any enemies. If the people that fucked you over in life pissed you off, if you feel like going fucking 100% brave hard on them, we need people like that in society. We 100% do. But just realize, um, you're not going to be as happy as if you could find what you actually love to do. But everybody's on a different journey, and sometimes people get stuck not being able to produce the good feelings that they had anymore because they're so fucked up and they're just naturally in a low vibe. And life keeps them in a low vibe, so it's just easier to become like an activist. So do what you're going to do, and we need people like that. But if you're doing that, balance it out. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy. Dance, sing, you know, have a healthy relationship, do what you got to do. All right, y'all, I'm popping off of here. Uh, don't give up. If you become fucked by getting injured at a job, again, shout out to Luigi Mangione for making an awareness of how fucked up the system is. Yeah. All right, y'all. Go out there, and life is short. Heaven doesn't exist. If you can unsubscribe from here if you're mad at me, but I believe that heaven was created to make people feel better. I believe heaven was created by the 500 people that live off of the life force of everybody else. Because look, you got people with piles of gold. They're having sex with 1,000 women in their lifetime, the youngest, most beautiful women. Look, they're living heaven on earth. Okay? That's what they're fucking doing. Um, and so they need to sell to everybody else that heaven is after you die. Last time I buried my cat and my dog, and I studied myself through doing some meditation. When I go, like, your mind, body, and your spirit is physical. Like if you get knocked out, you don't dream during when the time you get knocked out. I don't know if anyone's ever been fucking knocked out cold, but it's not working. Your spirit's not working. Like your emotions and your thoughts, that's your spirit, right? So when you die, you fucking die. But your spirit does live on through the earth and through the other things that live in the ground. Plus, your spirit lives on through the people that love you. And your reincarnation is who you bust your nut inside of. That's your reincarnation. Like when you bust a nut, you and the person that created that baby, the woman, that's the facts. And you're gonna have these fucking Christians try to, they're magicians, and they know damn well that it's all bullshit. But that's how they get you. They're like, if I can convince them of all this retarded shit that is 100% against science, then we can get them to believe anything. So realize the people that use half truths to deceive you, question everything. Um, yeah, that's all I'm going to tell you. And may your days be filled with natural joy, peace, bliss, and eternal ecstasy, unconditional love, and absolute vitality. And go do something nice for somebody today, because it should make you feel good. Not because you're going to get something back, but because it's going to make you feel good. And if everybody could just do that, well, we'd be living a fucking good earth, wouldn't we? Holly jolly times, guys. Start studying the van life. Things are getting pretty fucking crimson red, so it could get bloody. Have a good one. Have a good one.